Speak now or forever hold your peace. It's Friday then. Saturday, Sunday. What the fuck? What's up, everyone? I am the High Priestess Phoenix. I am your spiritual healer, teacher, shaman, seer, oracle, lightworker, starseed, earth angel, mystic, medium, psychic, witch, yogi, guru, evangelist, North American Sybil, child of God, the first child of God, messenger of God. I am the Lilith reincarnated. I had to stop right there when I was saying that last night I did a interesting video. In the middle of the video, I was trying to show people how I'm tapped in, and I was like, "There's a door. There's an energy in a door on the 6th floor that's calling me." And I had my daughter go out and confirm it. And then I took a picture, and then later in the evening, I was doing something, and they were like, are you really her? I really am. I really am Lilith reincarnated. I shared an awesome video too about Lilith, Magdalene, and Eve, the Trinity. I put in the comments of that video, it's like, yeah, that's one of the Trinity, but I was always the triple goddess. You know what I mean? And that's why in the beginning, God had shown me, before he had shown me my true essence, he had shown me in the place of Eve, right? And you know I'm all about Mary Magdalene, as she was the only one that believed in Jesus's words. And, you know, all of that going on and being said, it's like, yeah, I done told you since the fucking beginning. I tell you all the time, fuckers. And, so there was a lot of people that were, like, in awe because of what I had shown last night. It's just parlor tricks, if you ask me. I tell you that all the time. Shit like that seems to be pretty useless to me. Like, why do I need to know such things? And that's why I tell you all the time, I don't want to know. That's my song. I don't want to know. I don't care. If I even ask my mind, if my mind starts to develop a question, the answer is given. And that's the knowing. It's like, I didn't know nothing about you until God told me everything, and I didn't want to know. Why does he tell me your shit? So that you can fix your shit, bro. He tells me what's wrong with you. And in essence, so I can help you. But I'm not going to help you. You help yourself, motherfucker. I mean, I do what I can, but ultimately it's up to you. And that all kind of circles back to where I was going to start with this video. I had posted my community page this morning. My spirit woke me up early. And before I knew it, I'm like on Facebook, like stalking my ex-family members. I call it stalking because we're not talking. And I have no reason to be looking at you. Right? So, in essence, I will tell you if I'm just watching you. I'm not stalking you. But in that sense, I felt like I was. And what I got out of it was, well, I mean, you know, God takes us back just to empower us, unless it still hurts and you have to do some healing. You know, he makes us look back. You only look back to the past to empower you to keep going forward. You know what I mean? As you know, I don't know. That's me as an alchemist. You know, most of you guys will look back and, you know, you don't want to look back at your past because it's, you know, filled with regrets and shit. I mean, at first it's like that, but then when you start to, you know, alchemize it, you see it for what it really was instead of how it made you feel. And, you know, you work through those feelings. So, like, looking at my family and shit, it's like this was meant to trigger me, you know what I mean? And it did a bit, but not like that. And that's what it is. It's like they're pushing, you know, your limits all the time. Finding ways to push your limits and bring up things that need to be addressed that are still dormant. So, you know, my whole family, I live in Colorado, and all of my mother's family lives here. That's her family, not mine. They were my family until I started waking up. Even before then, actually. That's what really happened. There's a long story. It's a long, long story. But I had stood up to the to the highest member of my family, the patriarchic fucking member, the elder in my family, telling her she was wrong, and it turned into a shit show. And I ended up saying some shit like our ancestors, but I didn't say ancestors. I listed every single one of the dead one by one and told them they would be fucking ashamed of you. And then she got real upset and she fucking, you know, went off and told the whole family how I disrespected her, and they all turned against me, all the people that live here. And it went real far and reaching. And it was a total joke to my brothers and sisters. When I told my brothers and sisters in the Bay that it had happened, they're like, they can't kick you out of a family. I was all, bitch, you got to see it to believe it. And sure enough. And then the same thing happened, with the sisters too. It's like, yeah, they super kicked me out of the family. Now, this all has to go down to the Lilith and shit. It was devastating. Everything always is. It's like, you know what I mean? You don't want relationships to go that sour, especially the ones that are supposed to last forever, which are something like your family. What happened? I had to stand up to my family. I always did. They knew me to always be that way, bro. You know what I mean? I'm cutthroat. You can do an interview with any of them. They don't know the new me. They can tell you how cutthroat I was. And it wasn't just them. It was anyone. I was always a stand-up energy. You know what I mean? In that sense. You were going to stand down when my energy walked in. So anyways, I'm looking at this, and it's supposed to be nostalgia. It's supposed to be this, this longing, or this memory of I wish. You better talk to Kels with that bullshit. In the essence, it's like, some remembrance of what used to be. And I just sit there and I look at it, and it's like, it's not ever going to be anything more than if you want to listen for your healing, is how I felt about it as I looked at it. It's like, even if I could contact them, which I can't, they all blocked me, which is fine. All I would tell them is to get right. I wouldn't be any nicer about it. I mean, you'd get the goddess that I am right now, the Empress version, but it's still going to be the same. You need to get right. You ain't living right, bro. And that's exactly what all of our fights were always about. Everyone I ever fought with in my life is because I put them in their place and told them they wasn't right. So I talked about them. We were building up to this. I didn't realize it. Last week I had talked about my sisters and how that shit went sour. I had been bringing up the family ties. Why? So we could get, unravel this shit. And so as I looked there, I had said, Aunt Pat, I had already told her, I was like, she's going to outlive everyone because of her fucking nasty ass attitude. You know what I mean? She put herself and her children above all of her, siblings and theirs. And, decided that they were all high and mighty. So she's going to sit in her high chair as she's in her wheelchair, as it says in the post. And she's going to outlive us all. Right? That's her fucking karma, bro. She just sit there waiting for God to come get you. You can't even fucking wipe your own fucking ass, bitch. No more vacations, no more smoking weed, no more fucking Miss America, nothing. Where are your kids? Where are your grandkids? Why are you begging my sisters to come from California to visit you? Begging for attention. It was funny to me. I enjoyed it. And then I saw the pictures of my sisters, and these bitches are literally 200 to 300. They're way over 200 pounds. Way over 200 pounds, bro. What is that? It's not weight. That's shadows, bro. That's shadows. And that's the last thing I told So-So. I was like, your 600-pound fucking childhood traumas are showing. And that's when she blocked me. In the essence is, what did I say? I mean, ultimately, I told him to get right, that they wasn't living right. Right? That's what I always said. And they turned against me because they weren't right. Now here's this cool story how it comes together. And this has to do with every single motherfucker since I woke up. They called me crazy, bro. Because I was healing. Because I was taking this exploration. Because I didn't have my shit together. And I wasn't trying to. That I was only trying to focus on spirituality. They called me fucking crazy, bro. Everybody did. And that's why everybody's hanging on the fucking, you know what I mean, literally by a noose. In essence, if I wasn't even their family, their friend, or their associate, to treat anyone like that, that's all they're doing is focusing on God. You don't talk about people and do that to a person like that. And that's what it was, is in the beginning, bro. And that's the beginning of this documentary is, and that's what I said last night. I didn't become a spiritualist. I was having an unbelievable spiritual experience that I was documenting and looking for answers for. And the entire world, while I'm trying to figure out what's going on inside of me, and I'm literally not focused on my outside, and I am telling every single person that God said to take care of me and he'll take care of my outside world. They did not fucking like that. And they called me crazy, and they humiliated me, and they made fun of me, and they kicked me out their doors because I wasn't one of them. because I was doing this type of work. That's really the truth. One after another, people kicked me out of their lives because I was working on me and not on my outside world. When I was successful and I kept a job and I was spending money and I was going on vacations and I was doing all this shit, everybody really liked me. But when I started focusing on me and started speaking all that spiritual shit, I started applying God into my life and walking through these, you know what I mean, through these teachings and trying to teach others. Oh, hell no, she's crazy. Somebody needs to take her kids. My children, my sisters, my brothers, my aunts, my cousins, my friends, dude, my colleagues, everybody thought, who cares what they thought, how they treated me when they knew if I was crazy, as I said I was trying to heal, there was no compassion, there was no kindness, there was no understanding. It was full judgment, persecution, and running your mouth about it. Look at her, look at her, look at what she's doing now, look at what she's doing now. All I was trying to do was figure out what was going on inside of me, which was a spiritual explosion. You know, and I got super duper persecuted on the outside for it. So then when I come back as this spiritual warrior to these people, and I try to shine light into their darkness and heal them, they run even further. The shame alone of treating a family member or just a person, an innocent hurt person like that, should eat them up for the rest of their lives. They had no right to treat me like that. They said I was on drugs. They said I was doing all these things, bro. They completely turned their backs on me. Even my father, everybody turned their back on me because I turned to God. And so, you know what I mean? Like the way that they treated me, that should eat them up alone for the rest of their life. But then when they come back and they find out that I really am a Holy Spirit, bro, that was what was happening. My spirit was awakening. And I am not just a spirit. I'm one of God's most important spirits from the beginning of time. I'm a literal prophecy walking. I am the woman in the Bible. I am God in the female form here during the end times. When they come back and they see some shit like that, you can't deny it. Or perhaps you'll try. Like, baby daddy and, whoever else that wants to deny who the fuck I really am. I don't know what's wrong with your brain. I had to work through my own, so perhaps yours is all fucked up too, but I don't know why you can't accept the truth when it's right in front of you. And that's where it goes back to, I am Lilith, reincarnated. I have been brought back to fucking life. And I can tell you all the fucking times God made me, all the fucking things he made me do, all the lessons I've learned, and why the fuck I'm here now. I can tell you when I die. I can tell you how I die. I can tell you things that that I don't want to know. Why? Because I'm still the spirit, just here in the flesh. And that's what people pray to, is the spirit of knowing. They want to pray to the spirits. For what? Protection, guidance. You know what I mean? All these things. Do I not do this for you here in the flesh? Only what? Under the name of God. I guide you back to God. As it says, I am the leader of the 144,000. The chosen ones who choose to walk this righteous path. Now, the whole point of the story is, for the rest of you, is you're going to have to walk away from your own people. Your own people are going to turn on you. They're your karma, bro. They were put here to teach you your hard life's lessons from other lives. And that's your relationships, that your job, your hometown. When you're ready, when you've learned your fucking lesson about this job, about this person, about this and that, you will walk the fuck away. When you have finally learned it, when you've learned your karma and you realize that this is literally just painful to me and I need to walk away from this, then you're set free. But only then. Only when you truly are, you know what I mean, have learned that you no longer need this thing person, place, or thing in your life, then you can be set free from it. In the essence, you set yourself free from this bondage to this person, place, or thing, right? So in the beginning, you know, I had to break ties with everybody, and it was painful because I had already had an isolated life. I just didn't know why I had broke ties with them. So I made the mistake. I didn't make the mistake. It was never. I had to understand why. When I woke up, I didn't have family or friends or a boyfriend or anyone. So I went looking for answers. I went looking for trouble, is what I did. That's why I don't go looking. I let it come to me. I don't go chasing. I wanted to know where all my family were. Why don't we talk? Why does nobody call me? Why don't I have your phone numbers? Why don't we talk? I could have like a distant memory of, I know you, you're my cousin. How come we don't talk? My producer, how come we don't talk? You know what I mean? Why don't we talk anymore? It's why I'm trying to figure out what happened. So then I go back into these relationships only to be triggered to remember why I stopped talking to these motherfuckers. I had to relive the pain of those experiences of cutting them off and do it a little bit better. And so like a day to day, it's like I go back and I relive the pain of why I had to cut these people off. And it's terrible because, again, this is, you know, my family, my friends, my lovers, everybody. Everybody was karma to me. They were teaching me really bad, really hard lessons, and they were keeping me bound in unhappiness, in relationships with all these things, these jobs, these people, these things, bro. I was bound to them. My house, I was bound to it. I was bound to it. I'd do anything not to fucking lose that house. I'd kill myself to keep that house. You know what I mean? I was bound to it. My husband, I'd do anything to keep him in the house. Why? So my kids wouldn't hate me for not having a father. It had nothing to do with my relationship to this man. I hated him. I couldn't stand him. But I would do anything to keep him there for them, which was meaning I was keeping us all in hell. All the wrong reasons, you know what I mean? I'll stay at this job. I'll do whatever it takes. I will do this job till the very end because my kids are worth it and they need all these things. I kept myself in very unhappy things, you know what I mean? Like this family, I told you, my family is nothing but alcoholics and fucking drug addicts, bro. Hypocrites and fucking criminals, bro. They're like everybody else, but, you know, and that's it. I'm the black sheep because I chose to stand in the light. You know what I mean? I told them when they were wrong. I'm the only one that doesn't drink or do drugs anymore. I'm the only one that doesn't, you know what I mean? And they call me the hypocrite because I walked away. Like, you're a fucking hypocrite because you stay. You blame your fucking mother and your childhood for it, but then you continue it. And that's where I saw in the messages, I saw Amanda. Do you guys remember Amanda? What happened with Amanda? She was just a childhood... She wasn't my friend. I was friend with her brother. She was the younger generation that was friends with my little brother. But anyways, the Holy Spirit brings me to her and tells her to stop fucking drinking. You were born of alcohol fetal syndrome. Your sister is fucking literally 20 and, you know what I mean, is brainwashed from it. Your daughter, you're raising your daughter in an alcoholic environment, bro. Stop this now. Dude, the message says, bitch, I'll get a bottle and bust your head with it. I tried to tell you, bro. I came to you and you're suffering. I don't even know you, ho. I mean, I do, but I don't care. I'm here because the Holy Spirit is telling me that you're passing on this curse in this house. Put it down. No, this bitch said she was going to pick it up and bust me in the head with it. Whatever, bitch. I bet you was loaded last night. I bet you was loaded. I know you don't like what I have to say because you don't want nobody to have to tell you some shit about yourself. But at least God sent someone to tell you. He sent an actual Holy Spirit to you to stop you in your fucking path. Meaning he cared enough. There's so many people that are catching karma, bro, that don't know how to get out of it. And in essence, did he choose you or I chose before I got here? You can have fun with that. But it was, I came to you to help you. I'm not hurting you. Your lifestyle's hurting you. My words hurt your feelings because it's the truth. The truth hurts so bad, bro. And instead of walking in that truth and facing it, you want to sit there in my face, and I'm seeing Russ, I'm seeing all of you that have done this to me. You want to fucking put this lie in my face so hard and make me look stupid while you're out there being an idiot. No, my life is great, and my family's great, and I'm happy, and you're a fucking lie, and how fucking dare you try to tell me? You spent all this fucking time. There goes Wolfman, too. I'm not what you say I am. Bitch, I didn't say you was. God showed me what you are. And he told you to become aware of it and change it. And through me, I tell you how to... I mean, that's right there. As soon as I get it, I alchemize it and tell you how to handle it. Get a handle on this shit. No, I'm just gonna go and, go have another one. It's sad. And as I saw the pictures of the were-girls, they're gonna die soon. They're unhealthy. They're extremely unhealthy. And you know what's sad about it? Is they won't go to heaven nor hell. They'll come right back and have to relive this whole life that they didn't learn in another skin. And that's what you guys are doing here, bro. You've been doing this for I don't even know how long. That's between you and your Akashic records, bro. You're not ascending. You're not learning your lessons. You're not spiritually evolving by your experiences. You were meant to have a human experience, learn from it, evolve, and go on to have more experiences. You are literally living a perpetual life of hell. A mundane, whatever you call it, bro. Routine, ritual, secure life in hell. You just do. You're literally in hell working. You're slaves in hell. Working to the constructs of your mind. You're in hell by your own fucking mind, dude. God didn't even do this to you. And all day and all night, your angels, your Holy Spirit, your grandparents, whoever, God Almighty, is trying to get you, empower you to walk away from these fucking things that have got you strapped down. A ball and chain that will not allow you to be free and happy. And I come in as Lilith, full empowerment. Just say no. Say no. 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 And that's what it is. It's like, God made us a whole different breed. Every woman he made, no. No, God. And that was me last night. Hold on. I'm being a child with God. Why, God? Why? And that was an Eve moment. Why, God? And then comes the Magdalene moment. All right, I get it. Out of love. But in the essence, it's like, this is it. It's like, you don't just do what you're told. Number one. That's the Lilith. Eve, you ask questions. But why? You question, and that's it. Question it. Who put this thought in my head? Who said? Who said? Now again, I was the serpent that told, that tried to empower Eve. So there's nothing wrong with this. Why? Because she was disempowered by fucking Adam and his rule over her. She did everything he fucking said. Didn't even question it. That was her master. That's what I teach you as Lilith. You do whatever the fuck they say, whether it's a man, a woman, whatever. Even your children, bro. Even the fucking whatever you say, you just bend over and take it, bro. Nah, bro. They're not going to get on top of you and take you like that. Take your power from you. And that's what I stand for is no. You're going to stand up to fucking authority. And as I said last night, this is not about a war against God. I am on God's side. It was never about that. Man made me a demon. God didn't. God made me a goddess. Man made me a demon for that. And, as far as the knowledge and wisdom, wanting to know, that's what you guys have. You always want to know. I don't want to know. Yeah. But that goes back to it. It's like, eat the apple. Find out the truth. Look for yourself. Investigate. And that's it. It's like Lilith is, she was always telling you to, like, that's it. It's like, no, you're not my God. I'm not doing what you say. But it wasn't that I didn't do what God said. Well, kind of. I didn't do what fucking, I didn't not do that. It's like, as soon as I said, I was like, fuck you, Gabriel. Again, Gabriel tried to tell me what to do. And that's what it is. Nobody tells me what to do. I do, I mean, that's kind of, I do as I please. In the essence, and it's pleasing me for me to be obedient to God. But that's what it was. And that's what Lucifer was. I'm not just going to accept this position. I'm not going to accept the life that you've given me. So naturally, two unaccepting energies were going to accept each other. You know what I mean? And that's where it is we challenged it. Now you go back to further on, the god of destruction, Lord Shiva, the god, meets the goddess who's literally, created within a woman. You know what I mean? This entity from created in. He's like, he saw, oh my God, she's like me. I've got to have her. You know what I mean? In the essence, it's like, we were created alike, and that's because we weren't created like you. But we are the the archetypical types. I am the goddess, what you strive to be, and then there was the gods who you strive to be like. You know what I mean? And so that goes back to the children inherited the gifts of inherited the the curses of the fathers and the mothers. It was that actual rebellion that you're going to need now in these end times. That's where it's calling you to alchemize your shadows. Those parts of you that you deny are going to be the parts that you need to survive the end times. Those are your survival parts. Those parts already survived life. When you go back and you reclaim, that child part of you that overcame abuse, neglect, rejection, fucking, humiliation and embarrassment. That child that you were a child when this happened and you had to put on adult skin and walk through it and put your feelings down and be an adult at a very young age. When you go back to those moments and you pick up that child that was so capable of being so fucking brave, you're going to be holy again. But again, that child went through it, and it hurt that child to where the child decided, I'm not going to do that again. You got to go back and reclaim that child that wasn't afraid, you know what I mean? That wasn't afraid before that accident, before that incident, that experience happened. And that's like, you used to be, I'm saying Marshall, it's like he used to be very outgoing before you guys shamed him for who he was. And now he can't be that way because he's ashamed of his, self. He doesn't love his past self. You know what I mean? In that sense. And that's where it is you guys like want to forget who you were and how silly you were and that you were young and dumb and you made mistakes and you were brave and you pushed the limits, or maybe you didn't and you still haven't and you still have that child in you that needs to. And that's what it is like, I guide you through all of that. I'm here to, because that's what's got you in hell. Is the patriarchy. You're oppressed by this patriarchy of a system that doesn't exist, that you give power to. So naturally Lilith would come to, you know what I mean, to free you. And simple shit like that. It's like, bro, you don't have to do what they say. No, I have to. Who said? Who put that thought in your head, bro? And that's where I teach you, cleaning out your closet. So going back to it, it's a big fat circle of the fact. Don't deny. First off, stop denying who the fuck I say I am. And second, stop denying what I've come to do with you. It's my job. And I don't take it so personal, because I need to do this with everyone. Everybody needs to become awoken. They need to become self-aware and start healing these parts of themselves. You know what I mean? In the essence, going back to it, it's like, you're not a bad person. You're just being held back by bad habits. That's it. You haven't learned how to overcome your bad habits. And your bad habits are nothing more than your way of life, to be honest. Most of you don't even realize that what you're doing is stupid. Forgive them, for they know not what they do, is why you get away with such stupid shit. I'll tell you that much. But yeah, it's like, you're going to be asked to, you're not going to, they're going to turn on you. I promise you. I didn't ask for this. They turned on me. When you turn to God, man turns on you. Really? Yeah. But God doesn't fail you. Man will always fail you, and that's those conditions of man's love. Man only loves you when it's beneficial to them. God will love you no matter what you're doing, bro. And they'll fail you. They're wishy-washy, bro. They'll come into your life and they'll leave your life. They'll love you and they'll hate you. They'll this and that. God, he doesn't do all that. He's not shifty. Your spirit guides aren't shifty. None of that shit, bro. They're solid. That's what it says. He is the rock I stand on, bro. And you gotta learn these horrible lessons, bro. But they're also in the Bible, thinking about Job and shit. It's like he's gonna ask you to give up everything, and you're gonna watch how everyone else turns on you during this omission of obedience. That's all I did, bro. I was just following God. When I showed up at Mr. Plum's house, told him that I'm waiting on God and I'm not getting a job and I'm not putting my kids in school. Oh, fuck. I gotta get her out of my house. Same thing would happen when I showed at Sophia's house. You don't have a plan, you're not getting a job, you're not going to go on, no, I'm just waiting on God. I just came here. What did I come here for? Obviously, I came to get you, get my feelings hurt. If you really want to know about it, he brought me here just to wake up to the pain of, reality. If you really want to know, why did Spirit bring me to fucking the Bay? Well, I mean, other than my spirit guides and playing games with, their attachment to the Bay, I'm here for healing. I'm here to remember everything I forgot. Did I know that? No, I didn't know what I was doing. I was just being guided. But that's how it is now. I know that, you know what I mean? You're guiding me into my healing. That's after 3 years. But now we look at it and it's like, I can look back at you guys and they're exactly where I left them. Same old motherfuckers. Just getting older and fatter. You know what I mean? Closer to dying is how I look at everybody. But it's like, dude, you want to come look at me? Here comes that song. Look at me now. Look at me. And then going back to Pac and Kobe, they were the biggest fans. It's like, these are my spirit guides, you idiots. You could never. In the sense of, remember you thought I was crazy? Well, who do you think's haunting you at night, motherfuckers? It's just funny. Irony. There's nothing to go back to. When you really burn a bridge, you realize you burn the bridge because you realize that it really has to go down. This is absolutely no good for me. And that's what it is. Just because they were my family, bro, doesn't mean they were good to me or for me. We were all suffering from the same fucking, lifestyles. That's what made us family. And as much as I would have liked to inspire them to get the fuck out, they have no desire to change. That was Hannah. I was supposed to go see her. What happened with Hannah? I started waking up and I told Hannah that she was wasting her fucking skills. She was sitting around being his fucking Eve, wasting all her time in the fucking studio. You know what I mean? Not doing anything with her music. And I tried to fight Raj. Give her music, dude. Let her start performing. Let her start fucking becoming something. And I fought her, and instead she held on to them and turned against me. I fought for her freedom. You know what I mean? She would just sit there recording music. She never had actually made a fucking video. She never fucking did any performances. She didn't do anything, dude, but she was an amazing singer, and they would just use her. She'd sit in the studio, because Raj was the producer. She would sit there hour after hour, like all day, all night. He'd fucking, feed her drugs and alcohol to keep her busy and shit. And any artist that came in, could get her on their song. And I made a lot of songs with her because she was a great singer. But when it came down to it and I'm inspiring her to make her music, she don't want to do shit with it. And it's all locked up in this computer and it's all, Raj is taking care of it. And I'm like, give her shit, bro. Give her shit so she can start her life. You're not controlling her. And I went to war with the studio over her. Well, I had my own reasons of how they were handling my music. My music was in the fucking, in the computer, and they were fucking, Don't get me started. So it was a real battle to be had because there was no privacy and there was no artist ownership of their music with working through that studio. So I stepped up to the studio to fight for her, and, again, she turned on me. I stepped up to Tree and told him to leave his shitty ass relationships that were causing him discord, that he deserved better. He fucking turned on me. I stepped up to Russ and told Russ, this was way before I even know the mechanics of how fucked up his life was with his relationship with his family. I, like you, thought he was just a loving man that took care of his mother. And then I really started to see this is way deeper. Like, are you having sex with your mom, you motherfucker? Like, this is weird. What the fuck, Chuck? And so he turns on me. You know what I mean? I start telling you people, you know, Lewis, you are in a very bad relationship with this job, bro. You need to leave this. No, he turns on me. They turned on me because they didn't want to turn to themselves. And when I said I was magical, I was becoming magical, they decided to, and most of them had already been playing in the dark because they weren't God-fearing people. They weren't religious people. Started going and getting magic done against me to try to fucking fuck with me. Oh, you want to be magical, huh? You want to see how it works? I'll show you. Okay, show me. And, you know, you have to let the old die, you know? Why keep relationships open? You know what I mean? Like, oh, my brother used to say that. If I would have just apologized to Aunt Pat, then I could be part of the family again. And I couldn't apologize to her because I meant what the fuck I said. I couldn't just pull together a fake fucking apology. And after everything that had happened, how everybody acted like I was so disposable because I stood up, what was the fight? You want to know the truth? Her grandson had cheated on his wife, who both of them were my closest friends, but his wife was my closest friend and my mother's friend. And, you know, she had to make a decision whether she was going to accept this or not. And instead, she took her kid and she moved out of the house immediately. And I couldn't help but honor the fact that she had to do the hardest thing, dude. I'm not going to sit here. You lied to my face for all these years, bro. I'm out of here. She had nowhere to go. She had to go, you know, start from scratch with some bags and, you know, rent somebody's room with her kid. But when all this happens, you know, I show up at Aunt Pat's house. And I know she knows. And Aunt Pat is like, she's filled with all this anger and tears. And she's about to let off. She's all, how fucking dare her? After everything he's done for her. After everything this family has done for her. How dare her destroy this relationship? How dare you expect her to stay there? I didn't say it, bro, because I was afraid. I was afraid to stand up to her, bro. I knew if I said something wrong to her, you know what I mean, what this could be. Because it had happened many times with other members in our family. And I listened to her for just so long, and I'm trying to calm her down. Like, no, I'm trying to make her see it from her side, that that's not fair, bro. She has a right to be free and not want to be in a relationship with this guy. But she can't see it like that. She sees it as she's going to take the kid and this is going to ruin him. And this is like what happens in my relationship, you know, like he's going to be a shit father and, you know, how dare her ruin all of this, and why can't she forgive him, and after everything and this and that. And she's just got a fucked up mindset, and she's about to attack this girl. And I tell her she's wrong. You're wrong. You're wrong. You're wrong to take his side. You're wrong, and you're wrong to kick her out. And all of our family members, if they were here, they would tell you you're wrong. She's part of our family. And I stood up to her, and the whole family turned on me. And now, all these years later, you know, they're family still, and I'm not. She was going to kick her out of the family, bro. And I'd seen them do it to I'd seen her do it to so many. She did it to my brother, Joe. She had did it to my cousin, Ace. She had did it to so many people, bro, where she just like, all of a sudden the family don't fuck with you, bro. You're excommunicated fully, bro, because of whatever she's put, you know? So I've seen it done, and she did it, bro. And I don't regret it because I was right. You know what I mean? That was what happened to me. It's like you wanted me to stay in these fucked up, you know, back to my first relationship. It's like you knew he was cheating on me and he was doing drugs and he was beating me. And you literally were harboring his other girlfriends. You were letting them sleep in your house while I was blocks away. And you're mad at me because I wouldn't stay with him? And you tell all my kids terrible things about me because I wouldn't stay with this man? And that wasn't just the first man, that was the second man too. When I took my kids and left the second one, his family came after me because they didn't want the shame of him not being a, you know what I mean? That looked bad upon them. It looks bad upon them. He doesn't give a shit. It's how it looks upon them. You know what I mean? They're supposed to be all fucking, you know, great class people, but then they got a fucking low class fucking addict fucking, you know what I mean, deadbeat fucking son. Fucking 30 something years old, fucking bisexual, fucking drug addict, fucking all this weird shit. Trying to hide all this. You know what I mean? So they did all this shit to try to get my kids so they could just, you know, if they had access, if they had the kids, then they don't look bad. It was never about loving my kids and giving them a good life because they couldn't love them or give them a good life. They don't love each other or give each other a good life. They're all fucking sick. They had all that sickness, what, incest and all kinds of other shit on that side. But in the essence, it's like, you know, you want people to stay in bad situations. You know what I mean? Like, going back to it, it's like, I wasn't going to go back to that family when I realized what the family, who they were. Inside, bro. Their moral compass, bro. Their moral compass. And that goes back to, you know what I mean, going to my cousin's wedding and everybody's doing cocaine. And if I don't, then I'm not going to be part of this party. You know, shit like that. For real, bro. It's like, in order to be part of this family, I have to be something that's not truly who I am and something that's demeaning to what I've become. Yeah, I was part of you guys, but then I chose to walk away from such things. Just because we were born into it and bred into it and it was a lifestyle, the first lifestyle we learned, doesn't mean it has to be the life that we live. And those are the great stories of people, you know what I mean, overcoming poverty or the streets or, you know, hectic childhoods. But the important part is not to sever that tie, but to go back to those ties like I'm doing and put a bow on it. You know what I mean? In the sense of, I appreciated you guys. You know, you guys meant everything for me getting through my part. You know, that relationship that I was born into with these people was important to get me through a certain part of my life. But as I became an adult, and I didn't need these people in my life because they weren't good adults. They weren't going to be able to teach me the right ways. And to be honest, I can't say they really taught me anything good. I was just, you know, Mowgli. This is the pack I was born in. And we don't get to choose our parents and our sisters and our brothers. We don't get to choose the family that we're born in, but we don't have to live and die by that blood. And, you know, going back to some of you like Russ and Bobby and shit, you know, and some of you like, it's all about your bloodlines, but your blood is cursed. And that's really it, is like all my brothers and sisters and their children, and even my children, well, my oldest children are, you know, they still have time and they're awakening and changing their, you know, they've cut themselves off, you know, of their families too, so that they can become, you know, a better version of what they experienced in life. Not to be, you know what I mean, to look down on, but it's just, you know, you don't understand what it takes to walk away from the things, all we know, and become something that we're not really sure, but we know that we can become. And sometimes it's sad, you know, and that's what the video is like Lilith would rather be, you know what I mean, she'd rather be isolated than accepted if I have to fucking be something I'm not. I'd rather be all alone than be with a bunch of people and have to be something I'm not. Just to, you know, fit in. I can't. I won't. And that's what it is with the family. It's like they don't accept what I am, and what I am is spiritual. That's what they don't accept. They rebuked me. Most everyone rebukes me because of my spiritual standing. It's not actually physical. It's because of who I am spiritually. And in essence, deny me before the Lord, and he shall surely deny you. You're denying God. I'm a servant of God, and you're denying my godliness and the God that I speak of. And you know what I mean? You're cursing me and my works, which are not mine. They're God's works. You're picking fights with a priestess. You're entertaining yourself with a fight with the Holy Spirit. Like, can you imagine you somebody all the time, you know what I mean? Taking blows at fucking Mother Cabrini all the time? Or, you know, anybody. And that's what it is. It's like they can't come back. And I wouldn't have them anyways. Do you understand how it has to burn? When I first woke up, I just wanted to have that. I wanted that sense of connection. I realized I was very disconnected. I didn't understand why. And then when I first woke up, I wanted that. I guess it was a codependency. I wanted connection more than anything. I wanted family and friends and colleagues, and I wanted a boyfriend, and I wanted connection. And I went looking for it, and I realized why it was better that I was disconnected. And it was hard. It was hard to accept, dude, that I was always going to be put apart. But then as I sent that message last night to Lumen Moon, I shared that video. She's like, you're so much fun. I want to hang out with you. I want to hang out with you. I'm like, yeah, everybody does, but they're afraid. And then she's like, come to me. I was like, no, bitch. You fucking get out of your fucking comfort zone and you come to Colorado. There's a full moon in Sagittarius next month, and it's going to be Friday the 13th. Let's have fun. In the essence, it's like, you know, and I said this, I was like, God keeps me here where I can play safely. You don't let me play with you because you're not safe. You're out to get somebody. And I'm just out to, you know, have fun. Not fully, but I'm here to just, you know, that's why he keeps me fucking apart from you guys. You have all the worst intentions. Just trying to fuck over his spirit all the time. You can't. And that's what's really cool is like in my vulnerability, you're completely, you know, masked from my true power. It's like you think that I'm all this, and that's what makes me. It's like, dude, you can't. You don't even understand my true powers, and it's just that I don't use them. I've surrendered the powers, you know what I mean, in that. And it's like, I'm just here to help you bitches. And you want to keep acting like bitches, bro, God's gonna fucking fuck you up for this shit. He sent me out here and you treated me like shit. He's gonna fuck you up for this shit. And that's that karma, dude. And it's like you already had bad karma, bro. I came to get you out of your karma and you fucking bit the hand that feeds you. The second I turn my back, dude, it's gonna get you real bad. Real bad. And that's it. It's like you were under my protection for a small moment in time where I had a chance to try to change you and save you. It was my chance. It was my moment to shine. And, you know, it's all about letting the old go and being new. They, you know, as my mom said, she brought me into this world, but she wasn't going to be there for the, you know what I mean? And when she died, she really didn't, that's what was the thing. It's like, you didn't even fucking give me the skills I needed to make it through this motherfucker. Well, you didn't even have them either, so that explains a lot. Yeah. If you guys long for the past, then you need to go back to it and close that, tie that shit up. We only go back to the past to either heal it or find our strength in it. And that's where it is that, do I need more healing? Is there more that needs to be said about these people? Can I go back? Can I look at these people and how do I feel? Am I bothered still by this situation? Does this situation still do I have an emotional attachment to these memories? Is what happened to me. And I didn't. I looked back. I had to relive it for a while, relive these memories. And I looked back with reverence and respect for myself and my decisions. And I stand tall in the decision that I made to walk away for such people. And I remember how hard it was and how persecuting it was to have to make that decision and be all alone in this world. To walk all alone. But you know what I mean? And it's like, I made that decision because in essence, it was a decision to honor where I was already walking, and that was with God. And that's what, again, going back to all this is, they turned on me because I turned to God. So how do you think God feels about them? And what kind of relationship do you think they really have with God when they would turn on a godly person? Fake. It's all lies. You can't have a relationship with God and then treat people or your family or a servant of God in such a way. God have mercy on you for what you've done. Me, I don't seek vengeance. I seek understanding, truth, forgiveness, compassion. You know what I mean? That's that Christ to me. I'm not going to try to sit here and get minds off of it. I'm just going to try to get to the bottom of it and move on. I'm going to try to teach you guys that. And that's what a Saturday is, you know, pushing your limits. We got our planetary parade today. It's a beautiful day. There's some overcast. And that's a good start to the day. You're going to have to walk away. But only when you're ready and you've learned your lesson will you ever do that. And that's how I know when you're healing. When you're making these, you're taking action. These are difficult actions, bro. Difficult. Hey, I love you guys. Have a good day. Laters, haters.